Dear students, note down, the PDF file of all these notes have been uploaded in the description of video lecture. Dear students, in today's lecture we will discuss absorption of fats, absorption of fatty acids, glycerol, as well as absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. In today's lecture, we will discuss the role of bile salts, the role of bile in the absorption of fats, fatty acids, fat-soluble vitamins. Dear students, this is the diagram of intestinal villus, and each intestinal villus having in its center a lymph vessel, and that lymph vessel is named lacteal. Very important. Note down, all competitive exam students, this is a common topic for all competitive exams and BSc students. The lymph vessel which lies in the center of each villus, one lymph vessel, lymph capillary, and this one is lacteal. This lacteal lymph vessel is surrounded by a network of blood capillaries, which on one side is connected by an arteriole and other side by venule, and this vein it finally opens into this hepatic portal vein, and this hepatic portal vein, it carries blood along with nutrients in the liver. This is the basic mechanism of absorption of different types of nutrients in our intestine. Fats, triglycerides, these are converted into fatty acids and glycerol. And dear students, as well as cholesterol, all these fatty substances enter in this lymph vessel, in this lacteal, by simple diffusion mechanism. Note down each and every point. Water, and that water enters in the bloodstream directly by the mechanism of osmosis. Diffusion of water through a semi-permeable membrane, and the water-soluble vitamins, and these water-soluble vitamins are absorbed directly in this bloodstream. Note down each and every point by simple diffusion mechanism. But dear students, the fat-soluble vitamins, and these fat-soluble vitamins enter in this lacteal lymph vessel by diffusion mechanism. The polysaccharides like starch, and it converts into simple units, monosaccharides, these are glucose. Absorption of this glucose molecule directly in this bloodstream by active process. In active transport, carrier molecule is involved, and that carrier molecule requires metabolic energy, ATP. But the absorption of this fructose simple sugar, it occurs by facilitated diffusion, in which a carrier molecule is involved, but this carrier molecule doesn't require metabolic energy. In active process, carrier molecule always requires metabolic energy, ATP. Dear students, absorption of this fructose by facilitated mechanism, and it enters in this bloodstream. Absorption of this galactose, it is a monosaccharide, and this galactose enters in this bloodstream by active transport. The proteins, and these proteins are converted into simple units, the monomers, and these simple units are amino acids, and absorption of amino acids occurs by active transport, and the active transport, this transport carries these amino acids in bloodstream. Note down, the fatty acids, the glycerol, the cholesterol, and the fat-soluble vitamins. Dear students, these are insoluble in water, cannot reach in bloodstream directly. So these fatty acids, glycerol, cholesterol, and fat-soluble vitamins, these are absorbed in this lymph vessel, lacteal. This diagram, it gives the mechanism of, very important lecture, today's lecture, very important. This is the mechanism of role of bile salts in absorption of fats, fatty acids, fat-soluble vitamins. Dear students, in the lumen of, in the cavity of small intestine, these bile salts interact with fatty acids, monoglycerides, fat-soluble vitamins, and all these bile salts, glycerol, fatty acids, fat-soluble vitamins, they interact and produce water-soluble aggregates. Dear students, water-soluble aggregates. These are named, very important, these are named myceles. Note down, competition students. These aggregates in which bile salts interact with fatty acids, glycerol, fat-soluble vitamins, phospholipids, and monoglycerides. They produce fat-soluble aggregates, and these aggregates are named myceles. These are water-soluble. And these myceles means the bile salts. And these bile salts carry the fat molecules, fatty acids, in these intestinal epithelial cells along through the microvilli. In these epithelial cells, intestinal cells, here from these myceles, all substances become free. Means the bile salts are released, and these bile salts diffuse back in this lumen to repeat the cycle, to repeat the process. Why? The fatty acids, glycerol, monoglycerides, diglycerides, all these fat substances interact in this epithelial cell and they produce triglycerides. It means fat droplets are synthesized in these intestinal epithelial cells. These triglycerides, note down, enter, these units enter in smooth endoplasmic reticulum of these epithelial cells. Here in these smooth endoplasmic reticulum, the triglycerides and phospholipids as well as protein molecules interact and produce the complex molecules, and these units are named chylomicrons. Another important question: the lactate, the myceles, and the chylomicrons, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum in which the triglycerides, the phospholipids, dear students, and protein molecules, they synthesize chylomicrons. These are milky substances, and these chylomicrons enter in lymph vessels, the lacteals. Finally, the lymph vessels carry these fat-soluble vitamins and fats in the venous blood through the lymphatic system. So dear students, in today's lecture we have covered very important topic, that is the entire mechanism of nutrient substances, their absorption in our intestinal villus, as well as the mechanism of absorption of fats, role of bile salts in the absorption of fats and fat-soluble vitamins. Okay, thank you.